Good morning. Wall Street is breathing a sigh of relief today, with markets posting gains. The catalyst? A significant court ruling late Wednesday that blocked some of President Trump's most sweeping tariffs. We're going to unpack what this decision means for the economy, for businesses, and potentially for your wallet.
The U.S. Court of International Trade delivered the verdict late Wednesday, May 28, 2025, blocking President Donald Trump's authority to levy some of his most sweeping tariffs. Court specifically targeted tariffs President Trump imposed using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. This includes the recently announced 10% Liberation Day tariffs on all imports and tariffs intended to combat fentanyl trafficking. The court found that using IEEPA for such broad global tariffs wasn't authorized, reasoning that it would be unconstitutional for Congress to grant such sweeping tariff powers to the president.
Investors clearly welcome the news, with U.S. markets showing gains. The ruling eases, at least for now, fears that these particular tariffs could hike inflation and tip the economy towards a recession. Wall Street's positive reaction reflects relief that the overhang from these specific tariffs has been removed, at least temporarily. This decision strikes at a core pillar of President Trump's economic policy, his use of tariffs, which, along with spending and tax cuts, forms a three-legged stool for his agenda. Revenue from these now halted tariffs, estimated at around $150 billion a year, was considered key to partially funding proposed tax cuts and managing federal debt. Without this income, analysts suggest Republicans may need to rethink the scale of tax cuts or look for deeper spending cuts to advance their fiscal plans. Essentially, the ruling introduces significant uncertainty to President Trump's entire economic policy plan.
For American businesses and consumers, this could offer some respite from the higher costs often associated with tariffs on imported goods. However, the relief might be temporary. The administration is planning to appeal, and other tariff avenues are being considered, meaning significant uncertainty remains. Economists note that while the effective tariff rate is now lower, estimated by Capital Economics at 6.5% without the IEEPA tariffs, it's still considerably higher than the 2.5% rate at the start of the year.
The Trump administration isn't backing down. They've announced plans to appeal the ruling to the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals and potentially the Supreme Court, and are seeking an emergency stay. Officials are also exploring other legal tools if the appeal fails. These include using Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, already applied to steel, aluminum, and autos, Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, or Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett expressed confidence in winning the appeal, but acknowledged they have 3 or 4 other ways to do it if necessary.
It's crucial to remember this ruling is specific to the tariffs issued under IEEPA. Other significant tariffs, like those on steel, aluminum, and automotive imports under Section 232, and the Section 301 tariffs on many Chinese goods, are not affected by this decision and remain in place. Experts warn this legal back and forth supercharges the uncertainty, as Ernie Tedeschi of Yale Budget Lab noted. Gary Clyde Huffbauer from the Peterson Institute described the situation as having a whack-a-mole flavor, suggesting the tariff saga is far from over. Carl Weinberg of High Frequency Economics stated, "Uncertainty is now poised to escalate." This legal battle could also ripple through international trade negotiations. Trading partners may hit pause to assess the situation, potentially delaying any new agreements, including 2 reportedly close to being announced. White House officials are reportedly trying to reassure international counterparts that, from their perspective, nothing has changed regarding their tariff strategy. So, while Wall Street enjoys a moment of optimism, the bigger picture on trade and tariffs remains complex and uncertain. The court's decision is a significant development, but likely just one more chapter in an ongoing story of economic policy shifts, legal challenges, and widespread uncertainty for businesses and consumers alike.